Hello and welcome to the Malika Writes channel. My name is Malika Writes and today we'll be talking about some of my favourite fictional characters. So I can't include all of them in this video because if not this video will be very long. So I'm just going to talk about some of them, like my favourites of all time. So the first character I'm going to talk about is Vida Winters from the 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. I loved this book. I think I've talked about this book before in one of my other videos where I was recommending books, or maybe talking about my favourite books of all time, or my favourite authors of all time. I think I've mentioned her before. But I really loved the 13th Tale. I read it when I was quite young. I read it twice. I read it when I was quite young. I say quite young, like it wasn't just a few years ago, but I read it when I was younger, and Vida Winters basically became my role model for life, as in how I wanted to be, who I wanted to be, and everything, you know. I had this idea of what female writers were like, based on Vida Winters. You know, she was so refined. I didn't want to be quite as snappish as her, but I did love her whole persona, you know. Like, I had this really romantic image of the old sort of retired writer who doesn't want to really retire, all in her vintage living room, you know, her living room that sort of looks like a Victorian sunroom. I always had this really romantic idea of writers. Grew out of that once I actually you know, really got into the writing process, but that character has been very important in my growth as a writer. I loved the story, so it was just magical. The second character I want to talk about, another woman, is Galadriel from The Lord of the Rings. She's also found in various other tales by Tolkien, but I really loved Galadriel because I think she is just a prime example of what femininity is. Did I say that? Femininity. Yes, of what femininity is. You know, I think she's just perfect in every way. You know, reading her backstory in the Silmarillion, I just adored her, and moving forward, reading her stories in the Unfinished Tales, and also, you know, really getting to know her in The Lord of the Rings, that was just, she always stuck out to me, you know. She was always one of those characters that I saw as a role model, so that's why I love her, and that's why she's number 2 on the list. Number 3 is another Lord of the Rings character, Aragorn. Is there any better example of a man in the world? Apart from Jesus, but I challenge you to find me another one that isn't a religious figure. You know, Aragorn is just this, he's an example of masculinity, you know. He's really a good leader. You see the way he sort of cares for the hobbits. He's described as grim, but you really see that heart of gold under all the suffering that he's experienced, you know. So that's why he's my third favourite character. I remember watching Lord of the Rings, for the Fellowship of the Rings, for the first time, and seeing Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn, and just going, yeah, they couldn't have picked a better person to play him. They really couldn't. He just embodied the role, and from then on I just loved Viggo Mortensen, and I just loved Aragorn as well. I loved him from the books, but that was just the icing on the cake for me. So the fourth character that I would like to express is a very toxic character. This character is not one that I like as a person. You know, if I had to meet this character, I wouldn't like them. Even if I were a character in the book, I wouldn't like this character. I don't like them because of their personality or because I think they're decent human beings. What I love about them is more just the way they were written. You know, the expertise in their portrayal was brilliant. I think George R. R. Martin executed Cersei Lannister brilliantly. you know, she was just a brilliantly written character. I enjoyed watching her unfold through his writing, and that's why I like her. Not because I think, you know, she's an example of what women should be, or I think she's empowering or anything, any nonsense like that. No, I think she's a horrible person, but I love her as a character. She's her characterization is an example of brilliant characterization, and that's why I really love Cersei Lannister. So what number are we now? I think we're on the 5th one now. So the 5th character that I really love, this is not a well-known character. Actually, that's false. I think everybody who sort of loves the Lord of the Rings will know this character at some point, either through fan art or, you know, through just, you know, it being in the fandom, and that's Beleg Strongbow. Oh my gosh, have you found a better friend? I think he and Samwise Gamgee from the Lord of the Rings trilogy compete for who is the better friend. His end was so undeserved. Beleg, spoiler alert, but Beleg was killed by his friend Turin Turambar, and I almost wept at his death. It was such a hard death to process because he was trying to save him. Yes, it was a hard death to process. So the 6th character, and I think this will be the last one that I talk about. The 6th character that I really love, and I think that this character is not just, again, a toxic character. This character isn't one that I love for the sake of them being a good person, or, you know, me looking at them and saying, yeah, I would like to be like that. But I think she plays such an important role in many of the Greek myths that I like her for the fact that I think all the Greek gods are really unapologetic, but I like this particular goddess because she executes her vengeance with a particular sort of finesse. I think she does it in a way that you kind of give her, begrudgingly respect her, and that is Hera, the queen of the gods. I think she's a sort of stunning character in terms of how she's presented. You know, she's very powerful, and her cheating husband Zeus is a constant thorn in her side. But I think, you know, one of the things I really loved about Hera is the fact that she manages to keep that regalia, and she manages to keep that royal flair about her even when she's acting like she's acting less than proper. And that's something that you don't really see with the other goddesses like Athena and Artemis. In some of their stories, they sort of really, and Aphrodite definitely, in a lot of their stories, they don't act with that sort of superiority that you expect from the gods. But even when Hera is acting in a really sort of in a way that you wouldn't expect even the most even you know, because the gods have different morals from us, the Greek gods. But even when she's behaving in a way that's really vengeful, she still manages to keep this sort of I am the queen of the gods air about her. And that's one of the things I really liked about Hera whenever I read the myths. So those are my 6 characters that I love. I obviously have many more, some honourable mentions. Again, this is a character from Lord of the Rings, but Maedhros and Maglor. I love those 2 characters. Their ends are rather fitting, but I really do love those characters. And those are the ones I really wanted to bring to your attention. Thank you so much for watching this video. On Friday, I will be giving a review of Normal People by Sally Rooney. I really wanted to talk about that because I know that the TV series has gained a lot of popularity. I've actually watched the TV series, but I wanted to talk about the book because I see a lot of polarizing opinions about the book. Some people really love it, and some people think it's overhyped, and some people think that it's absolute trash. And I wanted to sort of give a balanced point of view. So that's all we'll be doing on Friday. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and just comment. Let me know what you think. What are some of your favourite characters? I would love to know. So thank you so much for watching this video and have a lovely day.